Yeah, check which team is smaller, put you on that team, set your game room, give you a pointer to the game room that you're about to enter, so that I can go player dash game room. And this is to check if the amount of players on either team is the right amount that you need. So say if you want to start a match and you want to have 4 players on each side, it's going to be like 4 on each side, so it'll be 8 players in total, and then the countdown timer is going to start. So it'll start the timer, change the state of the game room, so when it goes into the update of the game room, it's going to check if the state has changed. If it's in starting, it's going to start the countdown, and then when it gets to the end of the countdown, it's going to go to in game and it's going to start the match. That's why the get start timer is going to reset here. Leave it similar, just removes them from the list and such if they're on either team. So I think that's all I have for lobby. Basically, there's certain commands. I was going to show you the update. Sorry, not update. Game handler. Game room handler. Sorry. All the handlers are pretty much the same, with just some differences, as in whatever commands or user commands are going to be created. Like in this one, I've taken out quite a lot of things. There's none of the administrator commands. I've got the shop list. They can call the shop list and things. So, and I've also changed the way that these ones work. In leave, you have to check if the connection is not closed already. So it's like the leave is slightly different. So it's not just like leaving from the server. It means like that if I'm not going to close the connection when I leave, because I could be leaving to go into the next one, such as a game, and then I want to be able to return from game to this or something like that. Hung up is so if the players like say if they press the X on their client, it's going to come into this one, and then I'm going to set like they're not in the game anymore, they're not active, going to send to the room to disappear from the server, and I'm going to close their connection and log the player out. This is pretty much the same as flooded, and I have this in the other ones as well, such as battle and game. I've got some differences to remove them from different lists, like move them from the player list, and like as in this one I've got game room leave, so it's going to go into the game room, and if it hangs up, it's going to remove them from the whatever team they're on, which I was showing you the leave one there a while ago. When it goes into the battle, it also removes them from the active list and whatever team battle list they're on. And yeah, okay, so basically all that's different then is whatever's displayed when they come into it, and commands. And it's the same for pretty much all the handlers, except that they've got different update methods and things like that to update all the rooms. So the way I was going to do it was lobby has an update. I showed you that. It's going to run through all the rooms and update the rooms. Now, it calls the update of a game room. The lobby has a list of game rooms. So, actually, before I get into this, I'll just show you the other handlers really quickly, just to show that they're all the same. It's handlers. The game handler will be next. Just all the different commands: north, south, east, and west, move, chat, all different things. The north, south, the move one actually calls the north, south, east, or west one from inside itself. So I'll show you that one really quick. It's like the map's already been done to change like go into move, and then here I have another map command to change, say, north into N and such, and then it'll call the proper one. I'll go down to move direction, it'll call the move direction of the, sorry, there's the map command. It finds the player, calls the move direction of the game room, which in turn calls the move direction of the map. So all that does is then sets their ID equal to the, say if they're going north, that room has isn't ID north is equal to 0, it's equal to a certain ID, it's going to set their ID equal to that one and give them a reprint of whatever's that room is in that one. And it also calls the map description. So sorry, where is it? This is basically just the, yeah, here we go. This is the game map CPP. Sorry, this is what I've used to turn the map into the O's and the lines between them to show, like, to give it like a visual representation of the map. This is it basically. Basically, it's just two loops, two for loops. this is a quick fix at the end of the project, just so I could give some feedback to the user. So I've hard-coded in the values 7 and 11. The reason I've done this is it's 7 across and it's 6 down. But the reason I've done 11 down is because I actually want to print the things in between the lines as well. So I'm going to check on the first one over. I'm going to check if it's what's the word? I'm going to check for whether the room can go right, and on the next loop through I'm going to check if the room can go down. So then I'm going to have basically twice the amount of times I'm going to run through the loop, except for one, because at the very last one I don't need to check for the bottom again. So basically I'm running through it. If this is if to check if it's the same as if it's my room, so I'm going to put an X instead of it to show my position basically. And then it's if the room does have a next east ID, if it's not equal to 0, and it's not the last one in the list, I'm going to put in a dash to show a connection, otherwise a space. And then if I'm not checking this for the east, meaning I'm on the second one, or like divisible by 2, I'm going to be checking the ones down, so I'm checking the next south. So let's just quickly run through there. Back. Housing commands. Yeah, that was all I needed to say about that one. I'm in game handler. Game room. Right, I'm in game room update. When they're in the game room, they're originally in the state waiting. So as I said there, when the timer starts counting down, we're in starting. In starting, it's basically just going to check that the teams are like still above the right size. If it goes below the right size, the needed size of each team, it's going to restate that it's too few players and going to set it back to waiting. Otherwise, if the timer gets to the amount of time it needs for each time, so at the moment I think I have it set to like 15 seconds, it calls start game. And in the update I also have if the game's in progress, do the game logic. So basically a game room accounts for all of the chatting in the game room and when you're actually moving around the map. Except when I move into the actual game logic, I change the handler from game room to game, wherever I went to, there, to game handler, game room to game handler, and that just changes the commands that they can enter. So if I show you what start game is, all it does is changes the progress to the state to in progress, sets both scores equal to 0, sets the amount of specials to spawn equal to the static variable, so we know how many the randoms to spawn around the map the same. So it'll be like at the moment of them set to 2, so it'll be 2 specials, 2 randoms. The specials only spawn the special rooms, and the randoms can spawn anywhere other than the special rooms. Then what I actually do is I call spawn random X kits and spawn special X kits. These are so it'll spawn them in the IDs in the rooms in random rooms basically around the map. It'll spawn them in the IDs. This is so it'll spawn a random X kit in a random room around the map. That's not one of the special rooms. So it uses room OK check. So as a check here, so it's if it is, it'll add the treasure and it'll get out of it. Basically, all it's doing is use the function get random X kit from the X kit database that I showed earlier. As a quick look at it, passes in a seed with the time, and then it just gets the ID from it, from the random. Sorry, it gets a random ID. So that's what it is. It gets a random modulo the number of rooms plus 1, so it goes from 1 to the number of basically rooms available instead of 0 to rooms. 0 to the number of rooms minus 1. Sorry. Then it's going to get the actual room, and then it's going to add an X kit to that room. And like if it's not a special room, and it doesn't already have treasure, it's going to add an X kit to that room. And then if it's okay, it's going to basically add the treasure and say spawn is equal to true, so there is an X kit spawned in that room. For the special X kits, it's something similar. It's going to do a similar process. It's going to random X kit, random room. I'm going to run through the list of spawned special rooms that I can spawn in, and if the special room spawned II is equal to room ID, say room OK is equal to false, and break out. If room OK, it's going to add the treasure and add the spawn, push back the room ID to the spawned rooms so that I'm not going to spawn into it again. Yeah, and I also, just to notice in this, I don't set spawn equal to true. I'm going to only set that equal to true whenever the countdown timer for the spawning in game logic, which I'm going to show you now actually, reaches the time it needs, which at the moment I've got set to 30 seconds. So you can see here, game logic is this. So after the game starts, make sure it's going to set it equal to start. In start game, going to spawn random X kits, spawn the kits, and we're basically going to populate the in-game kits, as I was saying, copy the inventory across for each player in each team, and add the new handler, the game handlers, and reset the spawn timer and the game timer. Game logic. When we're in the game, it's going to check if the game has basically ended, and if it has, it's going to call this is it. It's going to call end game. I'll get to that in a minute. And otherwise, it's going to update all the battles in the game, whether if there are any. That's something similar to the way the rooms are updated and things like that. So, in-game logic. This is basically just a thing to make the spawning the special X kits. So this is basically just to make it the second one take longer to spawn than the first one, only slightly. Yeah, all this is basically just getting one of the random rooms that have random special rooms that have special X kits in them and spawning it, and saying your X kit is spawned in the room to everyone in the room, in the game room. Reducing the amount of specials left to spawn and resetting the spawn timer so it'll happen again. Otherwise, as I was saying, if the game is over, we'll end the game or we'll update the battles. So I think next we'll go into the battles. The battle happens when someone walks into the same room as someone else. I'll show you that now actually, because that's in commands. User commands. It's in to do with move. I'm in the wrong place again. Okay, you can see here with move. I'm in the move, and I showed you this already. It's going move direction inside it, but it also checks if the new ID is not equal to the ID I'm already at. And before printing everything out, it checks for battle in each room. And if it is, it's going to send me into battle. It also increases the score by 10 each time I move to a new position on the map, just to kind of increase the score. And I'll set my ID equal to new